Hi, this is Patrick from Sonic Atoms. I'd like to take you through our new sample library called Zaria. It's a vocal sample library, but it's not a typical one. It wasn't made to write complex melodies or simulate natural performances. It was rather designed to be used as a color in a modern composition. It is made of vocal textures and chaotic performances by very talented vocalist Roxana Korban. Come on, let's hear it. Zaria is split into 4 types of instruments. We have performance particles, performance compound, pad, and a single atom. There is also an additional version of some of the programs with reversed playback, but let's start from the beginning. So performance programs are all about having fun and playing. Particles, for instance, are made of vocal textures which are split into 3 zones. You can see that each zone has its own color, so you can pick a different atom or articulation, if you will, for every zone independently. However, human voice is very limited, so we decided to add a very low drony synthesizer to the lower part, to the lower range, as an additional sound, and also high, very bright synthesizer to the upper register. But because the synth sounds are also based on Roxana's vocals, they fit perfectly together. Of course, if you don't want to use those synthesizer sounds, you can just turn them off. And you will get a clear vocal sound. I mentioned performance program is great for playing, but it's also very handy when it comes to MIDI programming. All of these 3 zones, which are including vocal textures, can be changed using key switches. We have 3 zones of key switches, starting from C-2, which can change independently a texture for each zone. And there is also a great Halion feature for Cubase users. Check this out. If you are a Cubase user, you probably already know about expression maps. But with Halion, you can simply go here to the menu and import key switches directly from Halion. So now you can see we have this enormous expression map, which we can just use in our events. Okay, let's go back to the library. Our next stop is a performance compound program, and it's very similar to particles. However, in this case, we don't split sounds horizontally, we split them vertically. So we have layers. We have a physical layer, we have etheric layer, and we have astral layer. Physical layer, similarly to particles, is a synthesizer based on Roxana's vocal and granular synthesis. Then we have etheric layer, which is made of sustain type of sound, and orbit is my favorite. Roxana performs it in a way like her voice moves away and comes back, so it sounds a little bit like an orbit. Then we have astral layer, which is made of chaotic textures. However, in this type of program, we don't hear this upper layer by default. We can hear only when we press a key, we can hear only a synthesizer mixed with this sustain type of vocal, and we can add some sort of sparklings using a mod wheel. So mod wheel CC1 controls volume of astral layer, so we can just add it. Now let's take a look at a pad type of instrument. If you know Baltic Shimmer's library, you will find this very familiar. Basically, it is based on heavily processed vocal sample, and you can tweak the sound a little bit using modulation. You can pick an LFO and you can route it into a filter, distortion, panning, or a pitch, or you can randomize the sound a little bit using this randomized knob. This is very important because we are still in a single sample world, which means that by default, when we trigger the same note twice, we will hear exactly the same sound. So randomize knob is all about randomizing sample start value. The last type of instrument is a single atom. Now you probably suspect that these are single articulations, we just call them atoms because we are sonic atoms. And yes, you're right, these are single articulations which you already know from a performance type of instrument. But there are a few additions. There is something like a wave short, and there are also some short notes. These are actually slices cut out from a longer performance, and we turn them into round robins, which means that every time when you hit a key, you will hear a different bit from that longer texture. They can be a little bit clunky sometimes, so they shouldn't be treated as a staccato samples because they're not, but they work great when you want that long, chaotic texture feel, but you want to program your own rhythm. As I mentioned before, some of the programs have additional version with reverse playback. So we have reversed Compund, particles, and most of single atoms also come with reversed version program. Now let's move on to Effects tab. Every program in Zaria has exactly the same effects chain, starting from filter, goes to tremolo, chorus, tape echo, tape saturation, delay, compression, convolution reverb, which we call space, and then algorithmic reverb, which we call tail reverb. So, of course, all of the patches, when you load them, they have some effects turned on as default, but if you'd like to use your own effects, you can always turn them off. I hope you enjoyed this overview, and if you'd like to hear more Zaria in action, you should check out our audio demos on our website. And I also encourage you to follow to this YouTube channel so that you could be notified when we put some new examples here on YouTube. Thank you very much for watching, and see ya.